That seemed to have started way late, and I don't even know if anybody got to see the beginning of that video. That was weird how that happened. Hey, Ramón.
Hi, Ginger. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank
Hello,
you
everybody.
for co-hosting another Tarotnormal Investigation with me. I'm excited about this one.
I'm excited about this topic too.
Great idea. Great idea.
And I hope everybody is, because I think a lot of people have heard the story of the Mothman through one way or another, but we'll talk a little bit further into it after we say hi to some people.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm surprised to hear that there also are a lot that have never heard of the Mothman. So I guess you got to be one of those intrigued of the paranormal to know about things like that. So okay, my house is haunted, and now it's making noises over there for me. So anyways, yes, let's say hi to some folks, and then we'll get started. So Nancy says she knows nothing. She's not heard of the Mothman. Vivian's here, or Viviani's here. Sherry's popped in.
Hi, Sherry.
So Sherry's got some stories to share, so we'll have her on at one time doing something. And Angie's here. Hello. She's not learned about Mothman either, so this will be fun. Tropical Empress, is this Amanda?
Amanda, yeah.
New to me. So hello, Amanda. Thanks for coming in. This is going to be a lot of fun. So hello, and then Heather is here. Hello. She's going to pop back and forth between chats, and we appreciate you doing that. So with that being said, if whomever's not subscribed to one or another's channel, please do so. And do that channel hopping, because that's the way you get to know people and make some new friends. So Flowing's here. Thank you. And then we have, we have me. I'm excited about this. So I want to read what Amanda says. I've been meaning to tell y'all, my new house I'm moving into sits between two cemeteries. Oh, that'll be exciting. So yeah, come on in and we'll do a show on that. That'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, okay, so full disclosure, everybody knows me, Ginger Faye. I'm very nice. But I have this gothic fae in me that's definitely a little stronger than the tree hugging fae. When we start doing questions, as always, what I love about the Tarotnormal Investigation is everybody's involved, and we love everybody's input. So it's not just Ramona. So then we have, chat was going so fast. A lot of conversations going on. I love it. So this is going to be a full show, so I won't be able to right now get into everybody's conversations here. I think, nope, not near done. Okay, Brendan's here. Brendan, if you want to go grab a deck, it'll be fun. Oh my goodness, it is Ms. D. Okay. Miss D, you are so funny at my JAMA party. I was rolling. Thank you for coming in. Oh, so let's see. I'm trying to. Oh, Robin's here. I bought the Mothman prophecies in my grocery store checkout line when it first came out in paperback. Okay. Now, Ramon, you too have read the book, correct?
Yes, I learned about the Mothman through a 2002 movie, Hollywood
Hmm.
movie that was released called The Mothman Prophecies, and it's starting what's the name of this actor? Oh my god, Richard Gere.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's only two movies that really make me scared, and that is actually one of them, and it's because of like how real the story is.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
movie is actually based on real events that happened. They took some artistic liberties, and they mixed a couple of the elements from the real life story into the movie, but it's for the most part is pretty accurate in terms of a lot of things that happen in Point Pleasant, which is a small town in West Virginia. Um,
Right.
the story of the Mothman is much more complicated. I mean, much more complex because at the same time that there were the sightings of the Mothman, there were other events that were happening at the same time. UFO sightings, strange lights, uh, a character that will appear to certain people. His name is Indrid Cold. Um, Men in Black, other like Porter guys events. There were a lot of things happening during those 2 years that the Mothman sightings happened, and some
Mhm.
of those are in the movie. What they did in the movie is they brought out the character of the Mothman and mixed it with the character of Indrid Cold, which in the book is very different. I actually read the book.
Yeah.
I love the book, and
Oh,
it explores a lot of the the testimonies of the people who encountered the Mothman.
right, right.
Mhm.
And tell
So,
everybody real quick who Indrid Cole is.
so yeah, Indrid Cold is a actually Indrid Cold started appearing to some people before a few days before the Mothman sightings, and
Mm,
it was a character who uh, met someone, and this character said that he's known as the Grinning Man because he
yeah,
has like a fake smile
yeah.
that's really creepy.
They actually
Uh,
did a movie on him as well,
did
in
they?
recent years. The
Hmm.
Smiling Man.
Well,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Yeah, and the sighting on Indrid Cold hasn't just been on West Virginia. There's testimonies of sightings in New Jersey and in some other places. Same with the Mothman. We're gonna focus on the
hmm,
story of Point Pleasant in West Virginia, but the Mothman's been there's been sightings of the Mothman or Birdman because the
uh-huh,
name Mothman came after the first sighting. It came from the press. They just put a name, but a lot of people identify it as a big bird.
right,
Um,
right,
but there's been sightings before the Point Pleasant event
uh-huh,
and after, as recent as 2017, there's people who claim they had Mothman sightings
yeah,
in
yeah,
Chicago in 2017.
uh-huh. I had read they chose Mothman. Let me see if I can see it on the thing. Um, yeah, they said due to the popularity of Batman TV series at the time, a fictional superhero Batman, his rogue gallery. Okay, there was a villain called Killer Moth on that, and so it may have influenced the coinage name Mothman in the local newspapers.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't know.
yeah. So let me make a little intro
Folklore.
about the Mothman.
Yeah.
So the Mothman of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, it's a legendary creature that captured the public's imagination in the late 1960s. The
Hmm.
Mothman was first sighted on November 12, 1966, by grave diggers who saw a large man-like figure flying above them, and this creature became notorious after an encounter a few days later on November 15th, 1966, when two young couples claimed that they have seen a large winged figure with glowing red eyes near the abandoned TNT area, which was a World War II munitions site. Um,
I'm going to
uh,
show real
um,
quick.
yeah, the Mothman is described as over 6 feet tall with a wingspan of 10 feet, and many witnesses described its appearance as terrifying with hypnotic, glowing red eyes, which they claim cause extreme fear and distress.
Yeah.
Also, during this period, Point Pleasant experienced other strange phenomena, like I mentioned, including UFO sightings, strange
Hmm.
lights, and encounters with the Men in Black and
Okay.
the character Indrid Cole, which is an
Mhm.
eerie, grinning man, and some other
I don't have a picture of him.
poltergeist, yeah, manifestations, adding to the sense of unease to the community. So some locals believe that the Mothman was a supernatural being, possibly like a warning or harbinger of doom.
Right.
The connection between the Mothman and a disaster that happened was made on December 15, 1967, when the Silver Bridge of Point Pleasant, a bridge that connected Ohio with Point Pleasant, collapsed during rush
Hmm.
hour and 46 people died. And people starting making the connection of the Mothman with the tragedy of the bridge, because
Right.
after that, the Mothman wasn't seen.
Right.
So John Keel, who's the author of this book, The Mothman Prophecies, he this book was published in 1975. He explored the events and blending eyewitnesses' account with theories about extraterrestrial visits and government cover-ups. And the book was later adapted into that 2002 movie, further popularizing the legend. Um, this situation of the Mothman still continues creating debate and fear in some people, especially the ones who are still alive and their families. And it's viewed as a real entity, possibly misunderstood as a bird or
Mhm.
a case of mass hysteria. We don't know, but
Yeah.
it keeps captivating in the American folklore to the point that
Hmm.
Point Pleasant has embraced the figure of the Mothman.
Yeah. Let
Uh,
me bring that one up because they
yeah,
actually put up a like a little monument thing. Uh,
they have, yeah.
yeah. So they have this in their like downtown area. Yeah, so we're here to investigate a mystery or hoax. So let me show another picture. So we don't know if we don't know if this is a doctored picture or a true sighting of the Mothman. So this is a particular picture um, of a humanoid being on a bridge. Now I don't know if this is actually the bridge, but it's a bridge. And somebody else caught this. Is this,
Mm,
real? Is it a doctored up picture? And then, as you say, the sheriff was saying, oh, it was just a large crane that you guys were seeing. But this came up into my feed after we decided to do this. So you know how Google listens. I want
yeah.
to show you this picture. How menacing. Can you imagine seeing this at night? This is a harpy eagle. And you can see with the man sitting next to it how large they are. Can you imagine the wingspan
Mm,
of
yeah.
this,
But yeah, so the argument of the bird was something that's been brought up to the people who had the sightings, but they are very adamant that they knew the difference between a bird
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
birds from the area
yeah.
versus this situation.
Mhm.
Um,
They swear it was more humanoid, that there's no way
it
it
was more,
was
yeah,
bird.
more humanoid. It always lived in, or the sightings were around the TNT area, and they call the TNT area the Mothman house or the bird house,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
because that was the area where all the sightings happened.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but a lot of things happen too. We're gonna focus on the Mothman, but
Hmm.
like I mentioned, it's there was other incidents that were happening at the same time. And what's interesting is that John Keel, he has another book, and it's called The Eighth Tower. And this
Oh,
book, what it talks about is that there is something called the super spectrum, and there are entities that are part of that dimension or the super spectrum that interact with ours, and that creates the effect of things that we see or interpret it depending on our social context. So, like for example, he mentions that these beings, he doesn't call them extraterrestrials, he calls them ultra terrestrials because they're from
ultra.
another dimension.
Mhm,
When they interact with our dimension, we see things that we interpret in different ways. So he talks about, in the Middle Ages, we talked about vampires, witches, um, about pixies. We don't
mhm, mhm.
are not sightings that we don't see anymore. We talk about UFOs,
Bigfoot and
pigs,
UFO.
other things, you know, and that's the effect of the ultra terrestrials interacting with our dimension through the super spectrum. It's a very interesting read, and he talks a little bit about that in the Mothman prophecies, but he goes very deep in that other book. If you're interested in the topic, I recommend reading.
Yeah,
The book is amazing. The book is
yeah,
fantastic. It's
yeah.
available also as an audiobook. So is this book. It's
The
worth because the stories uh, related to the Mothman are just amazing.
mm. Well, Tom had a question for you. If you ever read Barker's book, The Silver Bridge. So
No,
I'm assuming that has
hmm
similarities.
yeah,
Yeah, so.
yeah, the Silver Bridge. The book, the Mothman Prophecies, talks about the incident of the Silver Bridge, and there's some people who say that days before the incident, some claim to have seen the Mothman around the bridge. Other people
Mhm.
say that these men in black were around the bridge. And when he talks about the men in black, he doesn't talk about just like people from the government trying to cover up the story, not just those, but like
Mhm.
other entities that are not human that will try to suppress the story or try to control the narrative.
Mhm.
And they describe that these people, they they were like really strange, like they had like all the elements of a face, but there was something off. um that they were be driving like cars from decades ago, and the cars were in immaculate pristine condition,
Yeah, yeah.
or they were have suits that were like ill fitted, and that that there was something off. They were appear in the middle of the night and with like weird excuses. John Keel himself and another lady he was working with, Mary, I forgot her last name, who are the ones compiling the stories. They will uh, get weird noises on their telephones or weird calls in the middle of the night. Their mail will disappear. Just a lot of like weird stuff happening.
Yeah, yeah. The weird calls might be coming from Ms. D, who's doing her phone, her other job, the phone on the phone lines, the stalking phone lines. Well, I just want to welcome. We had many people coming in, so just welcome. And okay, so yeah, I started this series about 2 years. God, was it 3 years ago? This is I think this might be the 20th show that I've done. So if you go over to my channel page under library, you'll see Tarotnormal Investigation. And I didn't do it for a while. My job kind of got in the way. And then one night, Ramon and I were reading together and found out he was interested in the paranormal. And then he actually has activity in his home. So we did that investigation, and you loved this, right? So like he's I'm like, well, let's keep going then. So yeah, so my intentions are to do it once a month for sure. I would love to do twice a month, but there for a while it was hard to get people who had stories to tell. So then I thought, okay, I got to not limit it to just the people and their stories. And like I did the Amityville house. And next month, we're going to do the Stanley Hotel. So that ought to be exciting. So Janine, we hope to keep this going.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
just the story, you can dissect it in different shows. There's the
yeah.
UFO sightings, the Men in Black, Indrid Cold.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So someone asked, is it real or is it not? So that's what we're going to find out tonight. We're going to delve into uh, the myth or the mystery. And once we get going, if anybody wants to join in with us, grab a deck. And when we start asking questions, just pull one card or two. We're not going to go into a long, because Ramón came up with 13 questions. Several that I had in mind anyway, but he got a couple extra. Like I didn't know who Indrid Cole was, but then when I found out it was the Smiling Man, I go, oh, I didn't realize those two were connected.
Yeah, the
So,
Grading Man.
yeah,
And it's after I watched the movie first, because the movie, it's they mix the character of the Mothman with Indrid Cole. But it's very interesting. The book, it like explores who Indrid Cold is. He claims to be from a planet called Ladulos, and his story and his kind, it's detailed in throughout the book.
wow. It's been so many years since I saw the movie that I didn't realize he was. You said he was played a part in the movie too. I mean, he played a
Yeah.
part. He came in.
Uh-huh.
They invited him in.
Yeah, he's
Come
part
on,
of the
play the
story.
part.
It's part of the story in the movie.
Part of the story. So,
Mhm.
yeah, Robin says UFOs and aliens are very pedestrian when it comes to the concept of ultra terrestrials. Interdimensional stuff just boggles my mind. And that, my friend, is why we are here tonight. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to see, everybody's having fun in chat. I love it. Okay. So before we get started, we're going to always call in the protection. But what decks are you using tonight?
The one that I found the most suitable for this topic is the Surrealist Tarot
Oh,
by Los Scarab.
there you
It's a
go.
beautiful deck. Yeah. It's kind of like a surrealist story in itself. So
Uh-huh.
that's the one I'm using tonight.
Yeah. I don't know if this will work. I've got I've been dying to use this for ever and ever. I didn't get to use it for Halloween, but I actually got the Myths and Legend Tarot. And I'm curious on how it might work tonight. So that's what I'm going to use. And I got a new deck off of Etsy I may or may not use. It's called the, you know what? I won't use it because that is more horror. So let me put that away. I'm not going to use that
I
one.
ordered this vintage deck, and I'm just so upset it hasn't arrived yet. It's from Los Scarabeo, but I think it's like from the 70s. It's called the UFO Tarot. The images are beautiful. It's hard to find.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, this would have been perfect for this one. There's also a deck, and I actually sent you the link that hasn't come out yet, and it's on Urban Legends.
Yeah.
And it has the Mothman, it has Indrid Cold.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, some other interesting.
Yeah,
it'll be fun for a topic like this.
Yeah, this may have the Mothman in it. I've hardly used it, but I know it doesn't have the Indrid Cold in it. It's really interesting, but I hope when I show the cards, they're very dark. So I don't know if, of course, I'll be doing this when we start pulling. So, all right. Okay. So Miss Tarot D's jumping channels, most exercise she's gotten all week. Her fingers are losing it. Yeah, the ghost tarot, but I thought about that, but then I'm like, well, this isn't a ghost story, so I'm not going to use that. I was trying to find one that would be kind of interdimensional. I mean, I basically got, vampires and zombies and the Hush Tarot. I don't know if that would be interesting to me.
Mm.
Some witchery stuff, but I want to try to use this tonight. If it's not going to work, then I'll know. So, all right. So, do you have a ritual of calling in protection you want to share with us, or I can?
I did. Yeah, I did mine already, but let's share yours.
Yeah. It's just a simple one. But yeah, I usually try to call it in before I start the show, but then I call it in because I feel that the chatters need some protection too. So I just call in the infinite intelligence of the white light of protection, an archangel and his mighty sword to protect each and every one of us here tonight and in the chat. As this is for entertainment purposes only, but so is a Ouija board. So, and we know what can happen with a Ouija board.
Mhm.
So I love to call in the protection, and that each and every one of us are guarded against any lower energies or lower energy beings, that your sacred spaces are guarded, your homes are guarded, your spiritual being is guarded against lower energies and lower energy beings. So with that being said, let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
Could you change the view to the horizontal
This one? What do you mean?
uh, uh, on the longer way? Just because if I pull the cards that way, yeah.
You like this way better?
Yeah, if I pull more than one card, it's going to be difficult on the portrait mode.
On that one? Okay.
Landscape,
I
guess
get it.
is the
Okay,
word.
sure. All right, then. Let's do that. I wish there was an in between. All right. So what we're talking about tonight, the Mothman is mystery hoax. So Ramon's first question was that. So anybody who wants to join
Read
in
this
with us,
first. Mm-hmm.
let's find out. We have many, many believers out there who believe they witnessed it, and some people just think it's a figment of their imaginations. Giant bats, giant cranes, giant harpy eagles. So let's just pull a couple cards to see what the energy of the Mothman is.
Mm.
Mine's flying out already. Hey, Harley. All right. So I'm just going to pull one card on this question.
I'm going to pull two.
Okay. Because interesting enough, I got the Knight of Cups. So it's a very interesting image. So Knight of Cups, knights are messengers. They're harbingers. One of the questions that come up is, was he the harbinger, the precursor, trying to warn people? So I'm going to not say it's a hoax. So what do you have?
Let's see. I have two cards, the Moon
Ooh.
and the Seven of Swords. I love these. So with the Moon, this can represent, the power, intuition, and discovery of hidden truth, right? This card might suggest that the mysterious nature of the Mothman, and that the sightings are not about deception, but rather uncovering deeper or profound mysteries that are not immediately apparent. The Seven of Swords is often associated with deceit, but it can also symbolize strategic thinking, cleverness. And in this context, it might imply that the Mothman sightings are a sign of something more complex and intriguing than just a simple hoax, and that it requires deeper investigation and understanding. So, together, these cards might suggest that the Mothman sightings are not just illusions, but part of something greater, like a bigger mystery, a truth that is waiting to be uncovered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was just thinking too, Knight of Cups has always been my like knight in shining armor, the romancer. So it's true that the story itself is romantic in its own right, you know,
Yeah.
because it draws people in. They're very curious. All right, so quickly, Brendan pulled the King of Swords. So that's the interesting one, you know, that wealth of information who that higher power kind of character. Tom pulled Six of Wands and the Chariot from the Somnia. That would have been a good one. I love that. I don't have the Somnia Tarot. So that's interesting. Also, when you pull cards, just you can have a quick synopsis of what that means to you or to the question. Amanda with the Knight of Pentacles. So another knight. And then Heather pulled Ace of Pentacles and Eight of Wands. And then Nancy pulled the Moon. Lots of mystery. Lots of mystery with the Moon. Okay. So is it
So I don't. The cards tell me that it's not a hoax, you know,
correct.
but it's something that needs further investigation.
Yes, I concur.
Do people agree?
So, yeah. So your next question.
Nancy pulled the Moon too.
Uh-huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah. All right.
Next question.
So we want to know the true nature of the Mothman. Is it a physical being, a spiritual entity? I added interdimensional being in there. So let's see. What can I say? What is the true nature? I wish the artist of these cards made them a little more lighter because there's so much detail in these cards, but it's very dark colors. What you got there?
So I got the Hierophant and the Ace of Wands. Very interesting combination of cards, right? So let's start with the Hierophant. And the Hierophant, traditionally, we know that it represents spiritual guidance and higher knowledge. So this card, to me, is suggesting that the Mothman might be connected to spiritual or esoteric knowledge, or it indicates a link to a higher spiritual realm. To me, the Hierophant leans towards the Mothman being a spiritual entity or a manifestation of ancient wisdom or traditions, right? The Ace of Wands symbolizes new beginnings, inspiration, and powerful energy. So this card suggests to me that the Mothman embodies a burst of energy and inspiration, maybe indicating its role for change. So the Ace of Wands supports me the idea that it's a supernatural force or an entity bringing insights and transformative energy. So the combination of these two, the Hierophant and the Ace of Wands, suggests most likely that the Mothman is a spiritual entity rather than a physical one. So potentially serving as a catalyst for insights, inspiration, and change.
Interesting. So I was trying to pull 3 cards on each one. So when I pulled on the, I'm trying to start everybody's comments. Physical being, I got the 5 of Pentacles. So that's just, for me as a no, not a physical being. Or if he was trying to manifest as a physical being, it was very hard for him to do. So maybe that's why he's not sighted that often. It's because it takes a lot of energy for spiritual or interdimensional beings to be seen as physical. Um, Spiritual entity. Interesting enough, I got the Seven of Wands here. Um, so it's almost as if he is that defender for the community, so to speak. But as far as answering that spiritual entity, let me think about that one. Interdimensional being, I've gotten the, as someone mentioned earlier, we got a lot of Seven of Swords here. So I got a Seven of Swords here. So definitely, yeah, it's hard to, with my cards, the ones that I pulled, it's hard to discern whether it's the spiritual or physical or interdimensional. This is, someone who's gathering a lot of information. So air's thoughts. So, spirituality. So it's, I don't know. How would you read Seven of Swords as that question? Is he physical or spiritual? That one's a tough one for me for some reason.
Spiritual. I mean, that's air. Swords are air, so that's the closest thing to, either
So,
physical or spiritual.
yeah.
Something that's not
But like you
tangible.
said, it's complex. So because there's seven
Hmm.
swords, so it's a little more complex than being, hey, he's just a spiritual entity. I think
Hmm.
it's much more.
Right.
So spiritual or interdimensional. There's a lot of information to still delve into. So I don't
Hmm.
think we can label him just one.
I was just gonna say that too. I mean, maybe the closest thing based on our experience might be
Mhm.
spiritual, right? But it might be something that is beyond our
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Let me go to some people here. Um, so Tom was saying earlier about his Six of Wands was telling me it wasn't a hoax. And the chariot tells him that the creature of action as well. So maybe he is more involved than just the messenger. So that was really interesting. Thank you,
Mm.
Tom. Heather says she's thinking of physical. It's a physical manifestation that quickly caught the imagination of the people, and the word spread quickly, which it did. I mean, the two couples saw them first, and within 2 days later, I think the sheriff was the next one to see. Um,
Well, there were some grave diggers that saw the Mothman before the couple, like 3 days
oh,
before.
three
Yeah.
days. Okay, so yeah.
And then the couple saw them and they reported it to the police. And
Hmm.
it wasn't until they reported them, the grave diggers came forward with
Right,
their
because it went
experience as
straight to the
well.
newspaper.
Yeah.
So we had more people coming say, because you would sound kind of silly like telling people what you saw, but as soon as one person, it just opened up a gateway when I saw it too.
Hmm.
So, I love
Yeah.
that.
And a few days before the grave diggers saw the Mothman, uh, a gentleman, his last name is Derenberger. I can't remember his first name. He had his encounter with Indrid Cold. And at
Mm,
the same time, the UFO and the strange lights were happening. So, yeah.
right. So we'll get into that connection in a
Maybe
little.
it's all three. Maybe it's all three.
Mm,
It's
yeah,
physical. It mutates into the spiritual and interdimensional. It might be something that we can't label, right?
exactly. Yeah. So I don't know who's one of us are frozen. You're frozen or I'm frozen. So people in chat, who's
I'm
frozen?
frozen.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
frozen. Look at my face. Oh my god.
Well, I feel like it's a game show. Well, the real
Le-
frozen one, please stand up.
uh,
So we'll pop back in. You know those basements? They're very dark and dank and mysterious. So I think he has a little trouble um, with his connections. So D says we both are. I'm looking at my phone. Looks like I'm good now. I did catch me freezing a little bit. Anyways, Robin drew the hangman. Needs to be approached from a different perspective than our way of thinking. So I like that, Robin. Thank you. Yeah, that was like the whole that Seven of Swords for me. Nancy got the Death card. So spiritual being. So that's a transitional being, I'm guessing. Here he comes. There. Ta-da! So Nancy got the Death card, and I was just saying that's a perfect, transitional being type of thing. So that was interesting. And then Amanda.
Well, death is about transformations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way I read it is, I mean, regardless of what its composition is, if that's the right word, it's a being that has brought or it brings transformative experiences to the people, because it definitely transformed that town.
Yeah.
After the experiences that a lot of people went through, the community got a sense of togetherness. It brought identity to them as a community, but also in the world. Because after that experience and the story was publicized, like everybody in the world goes to Point Pleasant for this. They actually have a Mothman uh, festivities in September.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And they have a Mothman museum, so it put Pleasant on the map.
Put them on the map. Yeah. Also with that Death card, because one of my thoughts were shapeshifter energy. So that was interesting. So Amanda got the Moon card. Very mysterious. So Miss D, let me see. 2 of Cups. For I forgot the question already. Oh, true nature, 2 of Cups. He's a very loving soul, and he's just completely misunderstood. So, yeah. So 2 of Cups, like you said, it brought together the community. Put him on.
I mean, nobody was ever attacked by the Mothman.
Right.
But they were just creeped out because
the bejesus out of them.
What it was.
But so that's actually appropriate. And then Brendan got the World card. So World, to me, the whole image of that World card, that's almost like a portal to me. So, interdimensional. So, all right. Heather's calling you wonky. So your mic was breaking up a little bit earlier. So, but I think you're fine now. Somebody just. Okay. Oh, we have a green adventuring tarot that joined us. Hello, and Harley joined us a little bit ago. So Nancy shuffled her cards and death came up again. So yeah. All right then. Oh wait, green adventuring did it come up? No, hang on. I'll go back to and welcome. Chat's jumping, so it's hard to. Okay, I just flipped the 5 of Cups and the King of Pentacles. Perhaps the Mothman is not able to be seen by a greater establishment. Shapeshifter. She just also mentioned shapeshifter. So, very interesting. So, thank you everybody for joining us on that. All right, the next question, Ramon.
Can you hear me well? Just testing this microphone.
Yep, we good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next
So,
question. Where does the Mothman originate? Let's see what we got.
Lori popped in. She said she's been wondering if there are portals and wormholes in that area. And that's a great question, too. That might be something we want to pull on, you know.
Well, John Keel, in his book, he talks that during the times that the natives lived in that area, they avoided living in that part of West Virginia because there were like forces they didn't like.
That's fascinating. Yeah. Okay, so all right. So explain you that question is it the Mothman himself? What are his origins or the legend?
Yeah.
So okay. This will be an interesting pool. See how the cards can answer that question. He originated from Egypt. Okay, this is very interesting because this is Anubis. So how serendipitous is that? You know, Anubis, he's that gateway, the gatekeeper, let's call him, to the other worlds. And you had to pass through him to be able to be judged whether you can go up to the higher realms or the lower realms. So that's interesting. I'm fascinated by Anubis, by the way. All right, where do you originate from? So it could be, if I use this card, been around since those ancient times. But if I look at Anubis here and the two dimensions of the upper world and the lower world.
The underworld.
The underworld, yeah. That's fascinating. And then what is this card? This is, gotta figure out who this character is. You go ahead while I figure out who this character is.
So I got the Fool and the Six of Pentacles.
Oh.
Yeah. And let's start with the Fool. So the Fool, as we know, it represents beginnings, adventure, and the unknown. So this card suggests to me that the Mothman's origin is tied to like a realm or a state that's beyond our conventional understanding. Maybe something out of the world or mysterious in origin. So to me, the Fool implies that the Mothman comes from a place that of limitless possibilities, potentially something ultra terrestrial or a different dimension. The Six of Pentacles signifies balance, giving and receiving, and the flow of resources, right? So this card suggests to me that the Mothman's origin might be connected to a balance between different realms or dimensions. So it indicates that the Mothman might originate from a place where there's continuous exchange of energy or resources, hinting maybe the connection of a world or a parallel dimension. That's what I get from this. So together, these cards to me imply that the Mothman's origin is deeply mystical and out of the world and connected to a realm beyond our everyday reality.
Wow. Okay, so here's something interesting. So this image was what I was laughing at. First of all, this is a Three of Pentacles. So he's definitely not working alone, I feel like, you know. But anyways, this particular character is named, I won't even be able to pronounce this right. So let's say Saltakuli. It's an earth goddess who the Aztec gods ended up, they feared her, and they ended up ripping her in two, creating the earth and the sky. So once again, within these two cards, I got earth and underworld, otherworld, and earth and sky here too. So yeah,
Yes, the goddess of death.
yeah. I didn't know if I said, I don't even know how to say that. This print in this book is so, what's that? Say again?
Tactecutli.
Okay.
Tactecutli.
I'm not even going to try. The text in this book is so tiny. I'm going to have to bring out my little, so how, that's interesting. So yeah, again, with the, for me, interdimensional being for sure.
But that's interesting. The Three of Pentacles, right? So that there is definitely a combination. You can read it different ways. A combination of different entities working together with this, that makes this manifestation to happen. It could be where's it from? Different dimensions. We're talking, three. So it's
dimensions.
3 different dimensions. Yeah.
And I didn't mention
manifestation in the physical and the spiritual. The I don't know.
Not the Holy Trinity, but there's mind, body, and spirit kind of entity. And this was the Justice card, by the way. So yeah, so just maybe he is trying to bring balance to something here in this world, into this realm.
You know what I think too, with those the 3 pentacles reminds me of those usually that UFO sightings, those orbs in the sky that people see.
Yeah. And the fire down below. That's an interesting card. This is the first time I really used this deck, so this is fascinating to me. All right, so Tiffany got the 8 of Cups. Was he forced to leave his world? Okay, let's see. So Brendan also got Justice. Interesting. Sherry, are you pulling cards with us tonight? Do you see this? A fellow reader asked, "Who's that gorgeous hunk of a man?" She had on
Where?
Oh, that's funny. So Tiffany pulled the 7 of Pentacles. Preparing us for something, perhaps. Good question, Z. How do we know? Oh, she's going under.
I mean, it's with the question. We're not trying to pinpoint like a specific, I don't know,
non-gender
planet or
specific,
but more like a level. If I don't know.
D, she's got to be funny.
Yeah, she always had to throw a wrench and everything.
A dirty wrench at that, a greasy wrench, a lubed wrench. Oh, now look what she's doing to me. Stop. Okay. Nancy got the Chariot.
The Chariot.
That's interesting, Nancy. It won't. There we go. Immediately, my mind went to Chariots of Fire.
Yeah, that's that. I read that book when I was like 8 years old, and that changed my view of the world. My dad had it, and I love that book. I still had that one original book that my dad had from the 70s.
Wow.
And I love it. Wow. And I always remembered there's an image of, I think it's a Mayan, like this Mayan king and the depiction seems to be like he's in a rocket. It was just fascinating. That changed my view of the world.
That's just a fascinating sculpture, I'll call it. All All right, so Amanda got the moon again. So here's two cards that keep coming up, the moon and the seven of swords. So, but, oh, and so back to the chariot, though. Again, coming from another dimension, for sure. All right, let's see what Robin has to say. The Hierophant. He came from where information is gathered that we might pull some manner of education and communication from his appearance. Interesting, because later on there's a question that would be very, it's kind of one of the questions. Let's see. Tom got Queen of Wands and Page of Coins. Because of his imagery insomnia, I'm thinking Mothman originates from the underground.
You know, I was thinking about that too this morning. Maybe there is a population underground, a totally different world, and
they believe. I mean, it's been presented that there is another world. There, what pilot was that went in to the Antarctic and claimed?
Yeah, I heard that story.
Yeah. They claim that aliens have bases. That Black Pyramid in is it Alaska? That they found. So who knows what's going on? There's possibly a who knows, the core of the earth may in a sense well be a portal itself, and maybe because with these cards with the earth and sky, interesting. All right, Lori.
I mean, if you think about it, there's parts of the sea no humans been. Depths of the sea, and that's on our surface. So
they talk about the USOs, and we can just go on and on. All right, so Heather says her cards are not making sense. I may have to switch decks. She got the Lover's card followed by the Eight of Swords. You're pulling too many cards. That's why you're confused. The Lover's card of choices, card of connections, followed by the Eight of Swords. Maybe we're thinking too much about it. And it's just simple as his coming from, you got the Portal of the World card there. Ace of Pentacles, so the gift of, maybe he comes from a place of, well, for me, Ace of Pentacles, one of the meanings for me, Ace of Pentacles is like a healing sanctuary. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe from the physical realm, but it's I don't know, because traditionally the Ace of Pentacles is this hand giving you the pentacle, so it might be something coming from another dimension into the physical realm. Because pentacles represent the material world, right? So it's something coming from the beyond into materializing into the physical dimension.
Okay. Yeah, Harley was saying she feels that there's a portal for many creatures. Bigfoot. I do want to do something on Bigfoot at some point because I feel like he's my buddy. I was living in Florida at the time that the Bigfoot craze just went big, and I'm still in search of a movie. It was called Sasquatch, but a movie called Sasquatch that I've looked up, it's not the same movie, and it was a very interesting movie. It was a horror film, but Knight of Pentacles, although he may have originated from someplace else, he is now grounded to our earth, and his return to his own world is slow. That's great. I like that. That's
interesting.
Yeah. And maybe that's why we're getting the both. I can't seem to make up our minds. He's from both. Okay. Oh, thank you, Cam, and welcome. We're having a lot of fun doing this. So, So Heather, how dare you, is leaving us to go have dinner.
What?
Just saying hi to a couple other people that came in. Hello. And so Sherry hasn't been pulling cards, but okay. Sherry is setting up a GoFundMe page to cover some hospital. I hate to hear that we need financial assistance for our Medicare, but that's a whole another. That is a paranormal investigation. Our country's Medicare, medical aid and stuff. So, okay. So Ken said you're welcome to participate. That's what this is all about. We love to get everybody's input. Sometimes it opens new portals for us to investigate and navigate through. So just let us know per question what card you pull and what it means to the question, to you, what it means to the question. So she's using the Tarot of the Divine. Oh, interesting. I'll have to check that one out then. Wands on the bottom, represented in this deck is a rainbow crow, Native American legend. We discussed that a little bit earlier too, about the Native Americans. It could be their version even of the thunder bird, but maybe not. Just a thought. Care Bear.
I read that. I heard that too. That early manifestations of the Mothman were the Thunderbird.
Right. Ooh.
They tied it up even to Egypt. To Horus.
I'm telling you. Yeah, Horus. I love Horus.
I love Horus too.
Yeah.
I love birds.
So Karen got 8 of Cups, leaving something Yeah, somebody else pulled 8 of Cups, and we were wondering if maybe he is stuck here and trying to get back home. Cam got the 8 of Wands message. Yeah, so we're still trying to determine, and later on I think we'll ask a question on that. Was he a messenger or did he cause this bridge collapse? Nancy pulled a clarifying card and got the Temperance in the Murder of Crows deck. That's on my wish list. That would have been a good one to use. So he has huge wing and is holding 2 cups. Interesting. Tom, what I find interesting is some of the readings I feel relate more to Indrid Cold's story. Interesting.
Yeah, I like the Indrid Cold story.
3 Shifting Veils, welcome, and Ant People. I don't know. All right. Okay. Yes, we were discussing that. I can't remember that pilot that supposedly went through there. I love this, Jenny. He's just a cute bunny with wings.
Tom mentioned this just a few days ago. Bill the Bear came up with a Mothman.
No.
Yes, and it's sold out in a few hours, and I want it.
What?
I don't have dolls or anything like that, but that Mothman is so freaking cute.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, there's 2 versions with like jeans and regular clothing, and one that is just black completely. Oh my god, it's so cute. It's so cute.
Wow.
I want it.
How funny that we're doing this and all that's coming out.
The timing.
I wouldn't be surprised after doing this that it comes on actually TV and the movie again. So all right, Miss D had to pop out. So
bye, Miss D.
Come back if you can. Okay, so let's go on to question 4. All right. What are the intentions of the Mothman towards those who encounter it?
Let's see what we got.
Yeah. Or did they just invade his space? All right. These are noisy.
Interesting.
Oh, how cute. Okay, I gotta find out who this is. If you want to go ahead. I'm gonna try to find out who this.
The intentions. So I got the Magician and the Eight of Cups.
Oh,
so
yeah, is coming up a lot,
right? So let's start with the Magician. So the Magician represents manifestation, power, and the use of one's skill to achieve goals, right? So this card to me suggests that the Mothman's intention is to involve overpowering or awakening to those people who encounter it. So the Magician, he's doing is his aim is to inspire and acting as a catalyst for transformation and personal growth of those who encounter him. The Eight of Cups symbolizes seeking for deeper meaning and letting go, right? So this card to me says that the Mothman's intentions may include encouraging individuals to move away from unfulfilling situations and seek greater meanings to their lives. And it's prompting them to leave behind what no longer serves them and embark a journey of self-discovery and fulfillment. So together, these cards, what they're saying is that the Mothman's intention is to act as a catalyst for personal transformation and guiding people towards a greater self-awareness of themselves.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely it's and that's I think has happened, after people experiencing these encounters, it's helped put their lives in perspective. And those of us who've gone through paranormal experiences, that's what usually happens when you encounter something like that. You like reevaluate your life and move in a different direction.
It's true. It's true. And Cam definitely agrees with you. And Nancy says if you go to Build-A-Bear's website, they will notify you when it comes again.
I did already put my email. Let me see if I can pull it.
They're going to have to do it again because I bet they're going to get a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. There's.
So, oh gosh, you said something and now I left my mind. Interesting. I got the Four of Cups here. So, you're talking about bringing something to this community. Maybe this community was asleep and needed to be awakened and pay attention to, events in their lives and stuff. So this is actually a sea witch. And this is in the book, it says it's, in the story of the Little Mermaid who goes to the sea witch to ask for legs. So, so maybe this is something that the community just needed to seek out even. And like I said, just they needed to be awakened. They were asleep. The community was asleep. And the Mothman just offered by scaring everybody to wake them up. And then I got Nessie. Look, there's a Loch Ness monster as the Queen of Cups. I love that. So the intentions. So it's like innocent intentions. Like they didn't mean to scare. He just has a scary, physical appearance. But offering just gosh, how am I trying to say this? I don't want to say it's like, oh, he's a loving, nurturing soul and he wants to breathe. But too, Queen of Cups is about awakening up the intuition too, as well. And he did bring about a lot of emotional, not turbulence. Well, it did cause turbulence. And look at that, the water, the bridge. Which we'll go into a little bit later. So, bringing about the foresight of the disaster, and from what I remember hearing is that bridge was normally busier, and there weren't as many people on it as usual when it happened.
Yeah, one of the also when that bridge was constructed, it was for horses and buggies. You know, it wasn't for the amount of traffic that later on, and we're talking about the 60s, that later on happened. You know, and when the accident happened was close to the holidays, so there's a lot of people in traffic, you know, back and forth, and the bridge cave in.
Yeah. And I just put two and two together. This is the sea witch, and this is water. So, what if there was we'll just call it a lower energy force at play, and he came and intervened in that against this lower energy force. So, things to make you go, All right,
let me show you the plush Mothman.
Oh
no! The bear. It's so cute.
Oh my god!
I want it.
Yes, look at that. Oh my gosh! Now they're gonna have to come out. Do you know what a Funko Pop is? My son collects Funko Pops, and they're kind of like what used to be the big bobblehead with the bigger head and smaller. But my son collects them, and I want to. I need to check. They may have a Mothman. I'm not sure, but I know they have like Godzilla and maybe some other creatures. So, anyways, let's go see what. Okay, so Brendan got the Page of Pentacles. So, what was our question? Oh, intentions. So yeah, Page of Pentacles, maybe the intentions of the growth in the community. Well, the community definitely has benefited financially from this. Tiffany got the 9 of Cups. His intentions were just to be known, she says. Cam got Queen 4. The 4. Okay, the Star again, and the King of. Question 4. I'm so sorry. Took me a moment there. She got the Star and the King of Swords. Maybe he wants to know them. I'm sorry, she did this. Divine inspiration and a trigger. Was what she was saying. Tom. Intention, lover's strength, interesting. Insomnia, there's a symbology that would relate to a partnership that would bring ascension. I think strength in that would be evident. That's interesting because we keep talking about kind of like an awakening. So Robin has, if I can put it, oh, come on now. Got the Wheel of Fortune, what Ramón said, having us question our relationships with fate or exercising will to make our own future. I like that, Robin. And then Amanda Hermit tells me he was looking for you to go within to search for wisdom Soul searching. And Nancy got the Empress, and I'm not sure. They do have Mothman Funko. Okay, so look up Funko Pops. I thought I saw one at one time. So Tom knows what I'm talking about. They're huge. They're huge. They have a Funko for everything. They have Funko for almost every movie that's out, rock bands, pop stars, sports, all the scary movies. So we're collecting all the scary movie ones, of course.
Oh, yeah. I know what it is. Yeah. There is
right.
a Mothman. Oh, how cute.
Let me see him.
I mean, it's not as cute as the Build-A-Bear, but...
No, but... this is, and I think you have to go to her Etsy shop. This is the Myths and Legends Tarot. This is what the box looks like. And it's by God, I can't even see in this light. Created by Taylor. Oh, I don't know. But Myths and Legends Tarot. You can just Google it and then it'll take you to this. But it's fun. It's a fun deck. I've just not used it live before, so it's fascinating. So okay. All right, let's move on to what
someone has to make a Mothman Tarot and a Mothman Oracle, just Mothman.
There you go. Can you imagine? I can see the images now. All right, Robin says consider. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, Robin says consider symbolically the nature of the bridge to span the distance between people. You're so good at that.
That's interesting.
Robin. Yeah.
I like
so.
That.
Oh. Okay. Oh, Scott's here.
So,
hey, Scott. What the fae?
Hey, Scott. What the fae?
Oh, Marilyn, that's okay. We are only on question 4, so you're not too late.
Yes. You know, we can skip question 5 because question 5 is the significance of the Mothman sightings to the community as a whole, and I think you answer that.
Yeah, we pretty much answered that. Yeah. So okay. All right. So 5 is number 6. Okay. So what messages or warnings, if any, the Mothman trying to convey through these sightings?
Let's see what we got.
My fingers got dyslexic there. These sightings. Okay. All right.
Messages or warnings, if any, is the Mothman trying to convey through these sightings?
So, all right. Is there a relevance to his sightings? Okay. Looks like I got 3. Ah, there he is. Got the Yeti. All right. Relevance. Okay. Oh. This is a fun deck to see. What'd you get?
Interesting. I got 2 major arcanas and they're very similar. I got Judgment. Judgment and the Tower. They're very similar, like in terms of color and in the artwork, right? Let's start with, with Judgment. So the Judgment card represents awakening, reflection, and I think this card suggests that the Mothman sightings might be a call to individuals in the community to reflect on their action and choices, right? It can signify like a need for awakening, a reassessment of their path, maybe urging them for significant changes. So this card to me points like a moment of reckoning where past actions are reviewed and new directions considered. The tower traditionally signifies sudden upheaval and breakdown of structure. So, to me, this card indicates that the Mothman sightings could serve as maybe a warning to impending changes.
Mm.
And the sightings were meant to alert individuals, like to prepare them for transformation, right? Um, and the tower often comes with a message. It's a dramatic change, but it's a necessary one to rebuild and have a new foundation. So together, these cards might imply that the Mothman sightings carry a message of like awakening and an urgent transformation, and they serve to reassess, the path that we're going through and embrace necessary changes for growth. So the
Yeah.
Mothman, what they might be trying is to convey a new approach and deep reflection for a profound change.
Mm.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. I'm laughing because the Yeti is the hermit here. So he's holding the light, the beacon of light. So he's like the way shower, like you said. He's calling people's attention again to wake up. So I feel like that town was just a sleeping town, and he just came in and it's fun. I'm laughing because they talk about his glowing eyes. Well, here's a glowing lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had two cards that came out together. So I had the Ace of Wands, which is a very cool picture. Normal hand. Okay, so for me, Ace of Wands is that a path opening up. So new opportunities. Interesting, because this hand is coming from a cloud that has a lightning bolt. So that reminds me of your tower moment there too. It's like there needed to be a fast awakening. So he needed a quick call to attention for people to wake up. And I got the Emperor. This is, yeah, it's the Headless Horseman. But look at that cool horse he's riding in on. So it makes me think of the Chariot here in this particular one. That Headless Horseman, what was he? That's a messenger, and it's well, there's something to also investigate, a Headless Horseman. But anyway, so this is Emperor energy. So he yeah, so I'm just like, that harbinger of the messages, or awakening, wake up, and he has to do it in almost a shocking manner, because people, if there was a psychic in town that would say, hey, everybody pay attention, the bridge is going to collapse, that they would have ignored that person. But it might have taken somebody with some to shock people awake. Pay attention, awaken.
Mm-hmm.
And the lantern. Again, there's a lantern that the Headless Horseman. The jack-o'-lantern. The beacon of light. So yeah, so I think he was trying to wake up a sleepy town. Okay, let's see what everybody else has to say.
Like they say, nobody's a prophet in their own land. So maybe the Mothman had to come in to convey those messages, right?
Yeah. All right, we have. Is this the same question here? Nancy got strength. Was that the last question? Brendan got the Knight of. Oh, here we go. Knight of Wands. Oh yeah, so that was for question 6. So she got the strength card. The strength of pulling that community together.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan got the Knight of Wands, another knight, another messenger. That's what I feel about this particular emperor, that he was more the emperor, or the messenger, rather than overseeing the kingdom. Another death card, change, world altering change. Yeah, it needed to be a shock, a slap in the face. Wake up. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Naja.
And you know, there were deaths that happened, but it was because of the collapse of the bridge. So
yeah.
I think the death card here, in this sense, has like a double meaning, right? It's transformation of you know, worldview, but also at the same time, literal physical death.
Sorry, I had to sip.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
Black tea with honey. Assam.
Okay.
I love Assam tea.
I'm having hibiscus tea.
There you go.
I love
hibiscus. I know I needed some caffeine tonight. So, so Robin says, temperance again, mirroring Ramon. Focus of our awareness of maintaining balance and not letting go, letting our grasp on the world to get out of control.
Yeah.
And then Tom, stop it. The Magician and the King of Swords. This call to action, and we have tools to create what we need to, and we have a clarity and knowledge. I like that one. Oh, Cam agrees with me. Cam, we can be friends. She likes Assam too.
I like Assam too.
Yeah, it was my very first loose leaf tea that I ever drank, and so I've been drinking it for like 26, 27 years maybe. Wow. And I say that because I was pregnant with my son when I see, Amanda got Hangman, so different perspective.
That's a nice one.
Interesting. Wake up. Yeah, so many. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of majors being pulled tonight. Nancy was mentioned that earlier as well. Karen, I pulled the Oracle Radiant Sun, Resistance, Mercury in Taurus, resistance to change in a material realm, a need to look at financial thinking or work in the travel or transport. Hello, the bridge. I love it. Okay, so we got some magicians pulled. All right. Okay, let's go on to the next. Okay. All right. Where are we? Number 7. All right. So, as we were saying, is there a connection between the Mothman sightings and any paranormal activity in Point Pleasant? So, as Ramon was saying before this, the sightings of the Mothman, there was a lot of paranormal, UFO activity.
UFO activity. The sighting of Indrid Cold.
Yeah. And we'll talk about this a little bit later because the men in black were sighted afterward. So, okay, connection between Mothman sightings and any other paranormal activities.
Okay, let's see.
How do you want to say it? Two cards. Oh, interesting. Look at this mighty dragon I pulled. So maybe he was one of the not way showers, but getting them to wake up to other cryptids and stuff. What is this? This is the strength card. So connection between other paranormal activities and strength card. I don't know. And I got the Seven of Cups, which is a mermaid. If not a siren, it could be a siren. Who knows? So it's interesting. So the Seven of Cups is just telling me, you know, it's certainly there was a I lost my verbiage here. I sparked imaginations. Simple, and I couldn't even think about that. Definitely sparked the imaginations of everybody else. But if I go by this, Seven of Cups is this would kind of be a yes, that maybe he wasn't directly connected. It's just that he was a part. As we said earlier, we think it's possible that that land was a portal for other beings to come through. So I would say that I don't know about a connection, but there definitely a lot of stuff going on in that area. So what did you get?
I pulled 2 cards, and first one I got is the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. Start with the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles, the way I read it is like interconnectedness, right? So this card is suggesting to me that the Mothman and other paranormal activities are kind of like part of a larger network or of things that are balancing each other, and there is a certain relationship with them. With the Five of Cups, there is a shared trauma. So this card is indicating that past emotional wounds are a connecting factor with the Mothman experience, and there is a collective grief of unresolved issues. So the two of them combined, what I'm saying is, it's suggesting to me that the connection between the Mothman and maybe other paranormal activities in Point Pleasant, it's very multifaceted.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's an interplay between phenomena, a dynamic balance, and that each event is actually influencing each other. The trauma and unresolved pain, and all of these combination of forces, the web of experiences, there's a balance of energies that contribute to one another. So there is a combination of the paranormal activities, but it's also associated with issues interplaying in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of like reminds me of um what I was mentioning earlier from this book, The Eighth Tower, which is the same author from the Mothman Prophecies, that a lot of these paranormal experiences that we perceive are influenced by our worldview. They are happening. There's an influence by ultra terrestrial beings, but the way we perceive them are shaped by, our trauma as a society, the time that we're living in. Like I mentioned before, in the past we were talking about vampires and fairies, and we're talking about extraterrestrial beings. So these ultra terrestrial entities, when they tap into our dimension, we perceive them in different ways. And if there's pain and trauma involved, that definitely has a big influence in it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like sometimes, like we were talking earlier about it, he just bringing things to attention to the foreground, and it made us more aware of all these interdimensional things happening around us that we, I think like in the 60s, the biggest thing was UFOs. And so that just sparked people's imaginations, which, as we know, imagination is like a gateway to, our awakening sometimes. And so when something else paranormal happens, we are more receptive to it because we've already witnessed something. And so maybe he was kind of that, like that hermit I got earlier, just the hello, wake up to there's more to your world than you realize. So let's go to some comments here. Cam said, I don't even need to pull one for that one. She's got a yes. Nancy got the tower. That shake up, the shake up card. And I also used the tower as when I first started learning tarot, it was spiritual epiphanies is how I learned the tower. So that would make sense here. Brendan got the Empress.
The Empress, that's interesting.
So connected to the, yeah. Okay. Cam got Magician for the third time and the Fool. He's ushering in the new cycle. Look at that.
I got the Magician and the Fool earlier.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And
we're getting a lot of major arcana.
Yeah. It's interesting. Tom says, Death and the Ace of Wands. Death has showed up a lot. Transition, transformation, and the Ace card, expansion and creation. I like that. That's a good one. And the fire nature makes me think of the Phoenix Rising. We talked about from the Ashes of Death cards, rebirth and regrowth. That's a good one. All right, and then we've got I feel like they're all connected or stemming from some big things happening. I think, yeah, I can go on about that one. 3 Wands, foresight and expansion of one another. Nice. And then Robin, where'd you go? Empress, the birthing and the encouraging of our connections with unfolding, expanding mysteries to come. That's what I was thinking of saying. There's more to come, I think, in our world, and we're going to be little things like that will make us not so shocked when this bigger thing happens. Heightening our connection and communication with the unknown. So I very much agree with that. Let's see, what does Karen? Call to pull from the angels and ancestors. Interesting. Druid, hold the space. Ancient wise ones, connected with earth, moon, and sun. Hold things together. Stand strong. Trust in the process. I didn't realize I didn't do this. So trust in the process. Guides to dig deep. Guides to dig deep. My brain's starting to slow down here. So yeah, really interesting. All right, we have number 8. Did Mothman play a role in the Silver Bridge collapse?
Interesting question. I don't think it did, but let's see what the cards say.
Well, and it happened a year later, too, so that's why I don't think so. Interesting. Okay. Do you want to go first on that?
Yeah, so I got Justice. Look how interesting this card is. Looks like a lot of beings like marching.
Oh, wow.
And the 5 of Pentacles. So
those are 2 interesting cards together.
Right. So justice represents fairness, truth, and cause and effect, right? So this card suggests to me that the Silver Bridge was a result of structural issues rather than the influence of the Mothman, right? So what justice indicates, it was due to natural consequences or maybe even negligence, right? highlighting the importance of balance and accountability. So, not really. So, Five of Pentacles, this signifies hardship, loss, and this card reflects, the difficult aftermath of the bridge collapse. It marked uh, a situation of struggle. So the Mothman didn't have a direct role, but his appearances might have linked the the situation with the bridge, and it was more like a warning of something that was to come. So together, these cards suggest that the Mothman really didn't have like any direct cause with the bridge.
Right.
Justice points out two structural issues to me: cause and effect, and the Five of Pentacles. The hardship and suffering associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
his role is more like symbolic. Maybe was a warning for this tragedy that was to happen.
Right. Right.
That's what I got.
Yeah. Interesting. So I got this Page of Swords, and again, a messenger. Pages are messengers as well, and information. So this is a messenger with valuable information. So again, some people had said that was he just there to try to warn people of an impending doom? Because I also got the Tower card. Um,
Hmm.
I love that this artist chose the Devil's Tower and the story of the two Indian girls being chased by the bear. Do you know that story of the
No.
tower? Two little Indian girls. Who knows? Maybe they were just not supposed to be out in the first place, but they were being chased by a bear, and they went to the nearest highest place, which was just a rock that he can still get to them. And the American Indian lore is that this rock then rose up, high. It came from out of the ground higher and higher
Mm-hmm.
to where that bear could not reach him. And
Mm.
supposedly the striations on the rock were from the bear's claws trying to get at them. But
Oh, interesting.
here is just telling me that his role was just the messenger of something tragic happening. It's a sudden.
Hmm.
Um, it's interesting. And there's an eagle in this. Wow. So being the eagle, that's interesting. A winged creature coming to
Hmm.
help save people. So yeah. So I've always thought this anyways. It didn't cause the bridge. They later found out anyways of the weaknesses in the bridge. So and I still wonder, well, was he warned? How would they figure out he's warning them of that? I think he was. What are your thoughts on that? I don't think he was
Um,
there to actually. How could he say, "Beware, the bridge is going
they
to
were
fall"?
the bridges, yeah, but
And
there,
in your time,
John Keel was working with a can't believe I forgot her name. Um, let me see if I can pull it up quick.
yeah.
There was a reporter, a local reporter that John Keel was working with. Mary Hire is her
Oh,
name.
okay.
And she was a local newspaper reporter for the Athens Messenger, and she played a significant role in documenting the Mothman sightings. Hire worked closely with Keel and provided valuable local insights and reports of strange occurrences. But one of the things was that Mary Keel, um, days before the bridge collapse, she dreamt of a lot of Christmas packages floating
Oh,
on the
yeah.
water.
I remember hearing
That's
that.
in the movie.
Mhm.
That's part of
Yeah.
of the movie. But she had that dream. But
Hmm.
it wasn't until it all occurred that she put two and two together. That that was a warning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and along other things, she died. She died at 54, and
Mm.
after the sightings with the Mothman, she had a lot of encounters with Men in Black.
Wow.
And it's one of the things that the book mentioned is that these are people, the people who shared their story about their encounters with the Mothman. They had no interest in publicity. These people very serious people from the town, had nothing to gain from it, and on the contrary, a lot of them were embarrassed to come forward with the story, but they felt compelled to share it. People who, it's that very they were very people of high integrity, and that's one of the things that brought validity to the story. Yeah, they're very interesting. If you guys had the opportunity of reading the book, Mothman Prophecies by John A. Keel, it's very, very interesting. If you don't like to read, there's
I'm
an
interested
audiobook
in
version.
that. Yeah, I'm more interested in that eight of towers.
The audiobook.
The 8 towers. What is it called?
The Eighth Tower.
Eighth Tower. The 8 of towers.
I like this cover with the eye. I love eyes.
Yeah.
But it expands on the topic of ultra terrestrials and the super spectrum. Very interesting.
When you're talking about she dreamt that, it's too bad sometimes when you're dreaming stuff like that not that
you don't pick up the message at the moment.
Right, because I used to have this reoccurring dream of tidal waves and tsunamis. I knew there was a different word, tsunamis, and I still didn't put it together. I had that dream until the tsunami that hit. Oh gosh, not Thailand. Oprah Winfrey, one of her employees, went there with his husband for vacation. Philippines? Was it the Philippines?
Yeah, the Philippines. It was the Philippines.
Yeah. And that tsunami hit, and I didn't think about it till years later. I'm like, you know what? That hit, and I haven't had any more tsunami dreams. And I literally pictured that wave coming. There was a building on my right, a big palm tree, and some buildings on the left. And then when I saw some of the images, it was like, oh my God, that's what I saw. So it's too bad I couldn't have went, oh my God, that's happening. Let me call and somebody, warning,
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with the cards. I pull cards in the morning, and at that moment, the message doesn't make sense. But it's not until the end of the day I look back, and it's like, oh, this is what I meant. So I think what that does, it helps us, be more aware of signs as things develop, and trust our intuition.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. All right, so we have Brendan on that question, got the star, which is interesting because I'm thinking the Star of Hope. So his, what role did he play? I don't know about that Star of Hope playing the role, but the hope of the community coming together afterwards, perhaps.
I mean, the question might not necessarily be that the Mothman had a direct impact on the bridge collapse, but it's the association of his sightings with the bridge.
Right?
How was it
exactly? Yeah. Robin says the appearance brought attention for a need to shake things up and make a change. So that has come up a lot tonight about this community needing awakened.
Change. Yeah.
Wake up,
awakening,
wake up.
Change, transformation.
So Nancy got justice, and then she spelled it properly.
Just
I swear. Okay, so
we're at 2 hours already.
Oh my God, are you good still?
Yeah, I'm good.
King of Wands reverse flew out as a strong no. King of Cups upright on the bottom, which shows too much caring and empathy caused. Yeah, it seems with some of the cards that were earlier, this is more of a docile creature than. And then Nancy brought this up. What if the Mothman is an angel?
That too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda got King of Pentacles. We've got King of Pentacles reverse and the Nine of Cups. Greed, laziness, and complacency is what went into the collapse.
Yeah, it was a structural failure, you know.
I know, Robin. I want to. Yeah, I think I want to watch that. Watch the movie again.
I love the movie. I love the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, the star can be like the North Star, serving as a guide or communicator between realms. That was great. I like that. All right, moving along. We've still got 3 or 4 questions left. Mothman.
And you know something that I read too was that, because I was thinking, why 1966, and that was the year when the Soviet Union made a landing on the moon. So it's interesting that you know, I don't want to say coincidence, but
did they fake their landing too?
I don't know.
I was watching something the other night of it. And actually, you saying that there was sightings in Russia in 1999. They feel foreshadowed the Russian apartment bombings. So, but you said even 2017 there was a
2017 that there were people who said who saw the Mothman or apparitions during Chernobyl, before Chernobyl, and some other tragedies.
Interesting. So what do we do when we see them? We just start. Do we?
I
do
guess
we pay attention to structures? Because it seems to be a structural. He's a harbinger of structural damage. Oh my gosh. So okay. What is
so? Is the Mothman related to the figure known as Indrid Cold, the smiling man, or the grinning man too?
Okay. What China just collected matter from the other side of the moon that's never been able to bring to Earth to study. Interesting. Okay.
The dark side of the moon.
Yeah, that's a whole. Hey, Marby, welcome. We are on question 9. Is Mothman related to the figure known as Indrid
Cold,
the smiling man? But you called him something else. You called him what? The grinning
man. Yeah. Because it has like a.
When I look, when I looked it up on Google, they said smiling man, and there's a movie.
There's videos on YouTube dedicated just to Indrid Cold.
Wow. Okay, so it's related to the figure. What connection does he have? Does he have a connection with Indrid Cold?
Is the Mothman related to the figure of Indrid Cold? Is he related? See, is that a yes or no question? Let's see.
I have a coin. I'll put the coin. Is Mothman related to the figure?
So I got the 2 of Cups and the 10 of Wands. 2 of Cups. So the 2 of Cups, usually this card indicates a connection or relationship. So it's suggesting that the Mothman and Indrid Cold are linked through a shared experience or mutual influence. Maybe not directly, but possibly related to a higher paranormal event, right? With the 10 of Wands, this card represents burdens and complexity. So it implies to me that the relationship is part of a larger, more complicated phenomenon involving hidden layers. So both of them combined, what it's saying to me is that maybe the Mothman and Indra Cold are connected through, a shared influence or event, but the relationship, it's really part of something much more complex and broader. And even though maybe they might not be working together, but they're
Right.
both part of a larger or maybe integral phenomenon, with a lot of like hidden messages and challenges.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Okay, what I get? I got the Ace of Cups. Isn't a Native American in this one? So it makes me think maybe that smiling man, grinning man, smiling man, has also been around. Uh, my lights are flashing. Um, in Native American lore is what I was saying. But it's interesting because this particular Ace of Cups, look at the two different water flowing out there. So, like you said, there's like an interconnectedness between the two of them, but they're not like related, So, and then what else do I get? We got King of Pentacles. What is this? He's a funny looking man. Okay. Okay, so I think my brain is slowing down. Ancient. I just get ancient. Ancient prophecies is what I'm hearing when I look at this guy. King of Pentacles, ancient prophecies. So these two, I believe, like you said, they're not directly related, but I think they're both part of ancient prophecies. So they're yeah, like they're messengers. But that's all I'm getting on those two. Let's see what it says.
It's interesting that first card that you pull, that there's these two streams of water, so they're like two forces coming, two different forces coming from the same source.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. They're not directly related, but they're coming from. It's like this. They've got the same cause.
Yeah, we got you. We got the message.
Okay, so we've got Robin. Got the Emperor as well. A coexisting authoritative observer demanding to be paid attention to. I didn't look at the attention to and demanding to be paid. Oh, that's funny. Okay, Tom says, what does Tom say? The Hierophant and the Seven of Swords. I think they are linked, but I'm thinking the secret to the Mothman lies with Cold and his family crew. I think that's similar to the similar cause. Both working in the, okay, yeah, hang on. Hello. Both working in the same space, but not together. They're both messengers. Okay. Interesting, because my lights just flickered. So her lights just flashed. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. What's Tom say again? My finger's not working. I wouldn't confuse Indrid with the Smiling Man or the horror movies. I think Indrid is a different thing altogether.
Well, the book describes, there is the story of the man's first name I can't remember, but Darren Berger is his last name, and he tells a story that he was driving his car and this big spacecraft, and he describes in detail how it was, uh, intercepted his car, and this man came out of the ship and went directly to him. He didn't utter a word, but they had like telepathic communication
Mm-hmm.
as a conversation, and he described him, like with that grim, and he identified himself as Indrid Cold. So he directly uh, identified himself. I mean, so that there is an association with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
is it the same Indrid Cole as other Grinning Man sightings that happen? We don't know,
We don't know.
because there are ones that the book describe as well. Sightings in New Jersey,
What
and
what if Injured Cold um, was an actual abductee at one time, and then coming back to as a messenger for humanity, and he's happy about it. So he's got a big grin on his face.
nah,
I've got good
but
news to tell you.
this gentleman goes in detail because it wasn't that just one encounter. Over time, Indra Cole said, "You'll see us again." Indra
Oh,
Cole referred it himself as "we,"
ooh.
and in fact, that he mentions that he actually came back, and over a long period of time, they established a relationship. The man claims that Indrid Cold took him to his planet called Lanulos, and he describes the people and the city and
Interesting.
so on. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Wow. Okay.
It's I
Well,
think it's
huh.
on the Pleiades constellation
Hmm.
as described in the book.
Ah,
Now, is
that's
there other grinning mans? It's possible.
yeah. I mean, it ended up being like a horror movie, and it
Yeah.
was like the Thin Man, or not the Thin Man, the what's the other one? Tall guy, Slender Man.
Oh, Slender.
Um, Anyways, Amanda pulled the Empress. It makes me think, no, the Empress represents independence, which to me says it's independent of the smiling man. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, um, yeah, we seem to all be in sync tonight uh, with our card pools. Um, Karen, Knight of Swords, King of Pentacles. One is more powerful than the other. Maybe fight some of the same battles or meeting the other. Yep, yep. Fighting for the same cause from different dimensions. And she meant to type in, Amanda meant to say Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so let's see. This must have been a response to what you were asking earlier. Woody Derenberger. Is that the
Yeah.
reporter?
Hmm. Yeah.
One of the reporters. Yeah.
No,
Uh,
that's the man who encountered Indrid Cold.
oh, okay. Um, okay. So, and then Brendan got the Four of Pentacles. That's interesting. Maybe their message to us is, minding our resources. Okay. All right. Yeah. T- Tom finds that story fascinating as well. So,
Yeah,
okay.
it's just so interesting.
Yeah. All right. What do we have here? We've got. Okay. All right. Are we wanting to delve into the Men in Black?
What role, if any, do the Men in Black play in the Mothman story?
Okay.
Yeah, and the
This
concept of Men in Black came after that incident as well.
was that the
Are
first?
Men in Black that we know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because that's how they were describing it, and people will see them like in town. Like they were really like
Uh-huh.
harassing different people's in Point Pleasant.
Right. Okay, so what role?
I mean, the book is amazing. I love that book.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you read it because a lot of information. Um, fascinating. Okay. Okay. They better not show up at my door because we're doing this.
Well,
Who
you
is
tell
this
me.
Ginger Faye? Not me. Not me. I'm Ginger Brousseau. That's not my name. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I think maybe they were just curious themselves.
So, are you ready?
Go ahead.
I got the Emperor and the Eight of Swords. Didn't Robbie just get the Emperor just now too? So let's start with the Emperor. So as we know, the Emperor represents authority, control, and structure. So this card is saying to me that the Men in Black played a role of maybe enforcement and oversight of the Mothman story. Maybe they're figures that are representing a higher authority. Maybe their aim is to was to maintain control or manage maybe the dissemination of the information related to the Mothman sightings. So there might be an element of control right there. The Eight of Swords. Uh, Interestingly, this is also about limitation and restriction and feeling trapped. So to me, it confirms that the Men in Black were involved in creating like a sense of maybe fear or confinement among the witnesses, and that their presence might have been aimed to suppressing information or maybe limiting the knowledge about the Mothman sightings and the phenomena, which is what actually happened. Um, so both cards together, they're suggesting me that maybe they're following a role in controlling the story of the Mothman and ensuring that the mystery and maybe the potential implications of the Mothman sightings remain controlled and maybe out of the public scrutiny, maintaining like that enigmatic nature of the events. So yeah, definitely the Men in Black, um, their role was to control the narrative and the story and intimidating witnesses.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm going
Which
to
is
agree
what
on. I'll agree on that one because I got the Ace of Swords. The gift of information, the gift of knowledge. So definitely, yeah, the control of the information that is to be leaked out or whatever. They wanted to control the story itself. Interesting, though, in this image, we have fairies. We have the toadstool circle. And there's stories about that being the fairy circle, the portal to Fae land, we'll call it. Excuse me. So there's a lot of, in this image, a lot of the cryptid mystery. Interesting. So yeah, I can only piggyback on what you were saying about the information on that, how they wanted to control. There's definitely like a cryptid mystery here, just because of the fairies and the mushroom portal. It's interesting. But another interesting thing, I got the Nine of Pentacles, but it's Medusa. So Medusa was a victim of jealousy and circumstance. So instead of looking at it as the Nine of Pentacles, because that's what successful endeavors or things coming to fruition. Interesting there, and there's a snake. She's holding a snake. Snakes have that the shedding and revealing. So, yeah, I don't know how to put this into words right now.
The revealing of the information.
Yeah, and how maybe it's how they wanted us to perceive this cryptid, because you know, she was an innocent person who had the spell cast upon her to look ugly, and they wanted the intention was that everybody would see her as evil. So maybe the men in black wanted us to think that the Mothman was evil and not wanting to reveal the true intentions. But I don't know. I'm going on left field on that one.
I mean, snakes also represent. I mean, they're associated with a lot of positive and negative things, but deceit is one of them. And being Medusa, that she reminds me of the Empress. So it's like that manifestation of deceit, you know. So it's trying to cover up.
That's the key word.
You know,
like a cover up.
The story. You know, try to control it through deceit and intimidation.
Yeah, definitely the intimidation thing. But yeah. Okay, that was interesting. All right, let's see. What's the peeps say? Who? Now wait a minute. What's going on here? Now Tom says his lights just flashed. Oh my God! It's the men in black. They're after us. Okay, so we'll start off with Robin. He got the Fool. Interlopers meant to mess with us like tricksters to confound our abilities to focus and make sense of it all.
Interesting.
I like that, Robin.
I like that too.
Brendan got Page of Swords. So yeah, so they're wanting to be the ones that start the information, the rumor, or the deceit, deception. Let's see. Tom says 10 of Wands, 9 of Cups. Not sure how to read this. 10 of Wands and 9 of Cups. What do you think?
10 of Wands. 10 of Wands. 10 of Cups. 10 of Wands.
They're coming down heavy. They're coming down heavy. You want to...
10 of Wands.
9 of Cups, that's the wish come true?
Yeah. So 10 of Wands, like it represents that sense of like struggle, right? So 10 of Wands and 9 of Cups. And that 9 of Cups it's about that sense of fulfillment. It's not complete. So it's interesting that combination of the 9 and the 10. So
did they want to be perceived as the heroes?
No, I think there's maybe there was a struggle in trying to bring fulfillment to the narrative, you know. They were trying to, through different means, trying to control people's perception on what the Mothman sightings were. Not only the Mothman, but also all the other events that were happening at the same time.
Interesting. So Amanda says Queen of Swords having direct communication and setting the tone for the stories with boundaries. Like that. Karen, I got strange cards. 7 of Cups and King of Cups. I see control here, looking at options, trying to be diplomatic. Maybe to believe it was castles in the air. Sorry, chat jumped.
7 of Cups is also associated with illusions. So they were trying to convey a different illusion to what was going on.
Right. They wanted to control. They wanted to control that illusion.
Yeah, definitely. They were there to control what was going on. You know, trying to spin it into a direction.
Tom says he doesn't need the men in black, so go bother somebody else. I just find that fascinating that my lights blinked and then hers and now his. Your lights okay there, Ramon? You're
So
in the
far,
basement.
yeah.
They can't find you.
I am. Through the window. Indra Cole's hand will come through.
Let's see. Robin's
May not say that.
take on the 10 of Wands, 9 of Cups. Too much, yet not enough. More information, but no answers. Interesting. Okay, let's move this along. We're getting. When did we start? 8. Okay. So
8 o'clock. Okay. It's 10:20.
Yeah. Okay. So where are we? Okay. Number 11. We have 3 more questions.
Almost there.
Okay. I'll let you read that one. Why take a sip?
Okay. 11. Are the men in black connected to other paranormal or interdimensional events at Point Pleasant? So, besides the Mothman, there were other events happening: strange lights, UFO sightings, poltergeist activity. There's a lot of things happening at the same time. So, are the men in black connected to those paranormal activities that were happening at Point Pleasant? Yeah. Let's see what the cards say.
And I added interdimensional because of the UFO. I'm like, how do I say a UFO? Oh, interdimensional. Or altered. Okay, stop. All right. What is the connection? Oh, goodness. So I thought I pulled 1 card and 2 came out at the same time, and it was Death and Temperance together.
Oh, more major arcana.
Yeah. I pulled, no, that one's not.
Death again?
Yeah, Death again.
And Temperance. Like, Nancy got Temperance earlier.
Uh-huh. I got, no, I didn't. That was Justice. So I believe this is a harpy. How interesting. This is another winged being. So, so that might just definitely confirm their connection with the Mothman. Death. So we're talking about paranormal things when we talk about the Death card. And I got to see who this is if that's not who I think it is. No, probably not. In Aztec mythology, the souls of the dead must pass through 8 underworld levels to reach the 9th and final level. Oh, this is, oh my God. I cannot read. Mictlan? Well, I don't know. I can't see. Presides over the Lord of Death. Interesting. Mictlan.
Yeah, that's the counterpart of the Death Lady from the Aztecs. There were a couple.
Yeah, wow. So the soul's quest to meet him in a long, difficult journey with many horrors and challenges. So arrival in the realm of Mictlan signifies the final rest and the end of an unendurable situation. So definitely, and there's bats in this too. There's bats in this picture. So I would say definitely connected with paranormal. And then what I thought was just the second card is the 5 of Swords. And again, with the Indian, American Indian connection here. Oh, that would be just weird if the men in black were actually present during when the lands were run by American Indians.
It's possible. Maybe then we're in dress with suits, but
Yeah,
black
the men in
feathers.
feathers. Men in black
Men in black
feathers.
feathers.
And interesting, there's an ocean behind. Oh, so there's an ocean here. Something about crossing oceans to get to the land. Let me think about that. You go ahead and go, but it's a yes for me.
Okay. So I got the Three of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. So the Three of Pentacles is about collaboration and shared effort. So this tells me that the Men in Black might be connected with other paranormal events, maybe through cooperation, maybe involvement, maybe you know, through all these phenomena. The Nine of Swords, this card represents anxiety and fear. So it tells me that their presence is linked to heightened tensions and distress in the community, maybe serving as a response or as a catalyst for other paranormal activities. So these two cards together, definitely what it tells me is that the Men in Black are connected with other paranormal activities, right? In the Point Pleasant community through maybe a combined uh combination of collaboration, as we see with the Three of Pentacles, and their role is in amplifying the fear and anxiety, and their presence might contribute maybe to the overall tension of the area, and bringing a connection to the broader paranormal landscape. So yeah, there is definitely a connection, and their involvement what did was heightened the tension in the community. Maybe that
So,
led to more sightings.
yeah.
Just that state of that energy.
Well, making the people more aware to actually look for it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why there were more sightings. So it's interesting. The story on this Five of Swords here, it's New Zealand's tumultuous weather patterns make the Tuathram Te, I'm going to call him, a particularly important deity as the Maori god of storms. When the world began, this I'm just going to call him Tilwhirl. Brothers decided to separate their parents, the earth and the sky. So here's another reference to earth and sky. This is like the third or fourth reference tonight. So this is about predicting. Oh, interesting. So this is about predicting storms, floods, and other bad weather. So predicting catastrophes. So that's interesting.
So they are connected with other events.
Mm.
They're able to foresee it.
Yeah. Interesting. So,
because they're involved, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That was interesting. I'm gonna have to read this guidebook a little more. All right. So Robin says the devil. They'd like you to think they are to confound. That's funny. Oh.
They confound us.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think too, in the RWS, the devil, he has people chained, right? So there is a link, a connection.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Six of Swords.
Oh, that's interesting. So, Green Imagery, thank you. Good night. Thank you for showing. If you watch this back, appreciate you joining us. Harpy Eagle. if I did. Oh, sorry. It didn't pop up. Remember, you also showed the harpy eagle before. Oh, he's probably in reference to this. You know, that duh, harpy. All right, where am I? So Brendan got temperance, so that's, you know, I got temperance as well. So I don't know about that balancing or the elixir of, you know, maybe the elixir of I have this in my head, it won't come out of my mouth. The elixir of the illusions and the what they want us to know. Never mind. Judgment.
I get it.
Yes, it's getting late. I'm getting tired here.
Me too.
Missing
I'm hungry
evidence.
also.
Ah, I know. I only had crackers before we went on. Okay. Tom's talking about crossing oceans. Now the Six of Swords makes more sense. Yeah. Okay. So did they come from the European? Maybe the Men in Black originated. Well, I don't know. Anyway. Light bulb. Hang on. Karen's got light bulb. I think they hide evidence from us. Missing evidence. Yes. That I will agree with. They don't let us know everything. It's like we don't really know what's on the dark side of the moon.
Six of Pentacles too. I mean the Six of Swords. There's a man who's controlling the direction of the boat, where the other two characters are. So yeah. They are having some control in what's going on, the direction of the situation.
I was to say we need to travel across the shore to find out. Okay, where are we? Oops, I lost my stuff here. Comment. And let's go. Okay. Okay. Is there a possibility that there might be more sightings of the Mothman in West Virginia, you say? Energy of sightings of Mothmans.
Yeah, because after the collapse of the bridge, the Mothman hasn't been seen again.
Right. In West Virginia, that is.
It was, I mean, yeah, in Point Pleasant, but we're talking about West Virginia, the state, because the land is tied up with, you know, a lot of strange energies.
Yeah. I'm just going to pull one card on that one. Whew. I got the Knight of Pentacles on that one. Again, the Knight, the Messenger. Interesting. Things that make you go, Let's find out what that bull is. What do you get?
I got the Page of Wands and the Six of Cups. So with the Page of Wands, you know, this card suggests new beginnings and exploration, right? So there is potential for new sightings or encounters, especially driven by curiosity of new developments. The Six of Cups represents nostalgia and revisiting the past. So maybe there is a strong possibility of the Mothman reappearing as past events and memories continue to resonate with the area. I don't know, because there is such a strong connection of, especially with the town of Point Pleasant, that I think that their energy, all of that, what involves with the Mothman, it's sort of like a magnet, right? Might be attracting maybe some possible sightings in the future. Maybe not as a warning, but you know, people are very receptive to the Mothman.
Yeah. Miss D's back. She goes, "Oh my God, you guys are still going."
Yes. We have one more question.
We're hanging in there. And by the way, I looked this up. This is a minotaur, so half human. This is half human. So, like you said, there is that possibility. So I'm going to get that one. All right, let's do our very final question. Oh, wait. What other people think? Druids were from the British Isles, and I pulled that card earlier for the Mothman. Interesting. Yes, people really are interested in this. It's a phenomenon. So there's so many of us who are diehards for phenomenon, especially when you're living with it. Additional
and it's so close
sightings.
to us here in the U.S., you know.
Yeah. The devil again. So he says hello. Like hairy men. That's funny. So okay. Good night. If you're still here. Good night, Ms. D. Let's see. Amanda. Ace of Swords tells me yes, as it shows that there's a need for mental clarity and breakthroughs. Interesting.
Well, Robin got the devil. Devil is associated with the element of earth. So, you know, like I said, there's an attraction of that. There is a strong energetic relationship between Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and the Mothman. So there is a strong relationship.
Yeah. All right. The
Or
last
bond,
question.
like
Yes. Yes. Definite connection there. Go ahead and read that one.
How can the community of Point Pleasant use the Mothman phenomenon for their own spiritual growth or understanding? Let's see.
Okay.
So it's like what spiritual lessons? How can they use that experience for their spiritual growth, right?
Yeah. Dropping cards everywhere. Maybe let me look to see what I dropped. Interesting. Empress, Queen of Swords, and who are you? The hell is this one? Sorry. Oh, Three of Swords.
I got the Four of Swords. I got the Four of Swords and the Two of Wands.
Well, you'll see why I was like, what the hell is this when I show you the picture, but go ahead.
So with the Four of Swords, this card suggests reflection, introspection, and encouraging meditation on, you know, personal fears and inner thoughts. So using the Mothman as a prompt for deeper self-exploration, right? With the Two of Wands, this card represents planning and new perspectives. And to me, it suggests that individuals can use this Mothman experience to expand their horizons, maybe encouraging new spiritual paths and insights. So, both cards combined, what I think is that people who experience this Mothman phenomenon can benefit through spiritual growth and maybe engaging in introspection, meditation, and help them confront, you know, their fears and inner thoughts. And with the Two of Wands, you know, it's encouraging that expansion of a perspective. So yeah, there's definitely a broader an opportunity for broader understanding and growth with the community and people who experienced it directly. And even indirect, even people who never experience, you know, there's an opportunity to maybe learn more and be more aware of, you know, the spiritual side of this world.
An expansion, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you froze again.
I froze.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't look. I look weird again. I'll be back.
All right. While he's doing that, I'll go to comments real quick. All right. Let's see. There we go. You didn't leave. You got to leave to come back. Okay, so I'll read some of the comments here whilst he's returning. Okay, Karen says she wants to work with us. Definitely. And then, oh, I'm getting tired. Robin says, Point Pleasant Grove. The tower again. I mean, it's true. If they had to take some sort of sudden wake-up call and hopefully grow and learn from that. Learn to become more aware and attentive to changes or stagnation in their community. I love that. So, welcome back.
Thank you.
Join us. We're learning about the Mothman.
Oh, great.
Perfect timing. So I was reading Robin's comment. He got the tower again. Learn to become more aware and attentive to changes or stagnation in their community. And that's something that came up earlier on, was about, a sleeping community.
Isn't it interesting? We got like all these different cards repeated, like the Tower, Death, Temperance. So it's about change, growth.
The moon there for a while.
Balance. The balance between the physical world and the spiritual side.
Yeah. So what was the question? Hang on. All right. So spirituality. Okay. So I got the Empress, but it's interesting because this is Bloody Mary. So it's like that reflection. Look at yourself in the mirror. Don't be afraid of what you see. So spiritual growth without judgment, and the sighting of him might be scary, but his intentions are not. So here to help the community grow and learn how to nurture themselves in the community. A lot of illumination. There's a lot of candles here. So so bring about spiritual illumination. I also got the Queen of Swords. So there you go with, some spiritual intellect and knowledge, and learning how to tap into that higher source. I wanted to read on this one because it was interesting. This is Oya. And Oya is a Nigerian goddess or god. Anyways, warrior woman who controls the storms and winds. So here's another card that represented like natural catastrophes, storm. That's been in a couple cards about storms. So the elements. So controlling the elements. We cannot control the elements, but interesting. But here's the card I laughed at because I didn't know what the heck it was at first. Then I realized it's the Three of Swords. So growth and the knowledge gained from what was lost. But look at this image. That's why I didn't know. What is it? But there you go. Another winged character. So, maybe this Mothman is going through his own little torment and he just wants to be hugged and loved. Let me see who this is real quick. This is
I can do it symbolically through the Build-A-Bear Mothman.
There you go.
I really want it.
You have to have that. Okay, this is Manananggal. Philippines legend tell of a shape-shifting creature. Remember, I brought that up earlier about shape-shifting. A shape-shifting creature known as the Aswang. Oh, I've heard of the Aswang. And let's see. Arguably the most.
Aswan,
Yeah.
Aswan is in Egypt.
This says Philippines.
Mm. Okay.
The most terrifying of these is the Mananagual. Mananagual. Oh, okay. Anyway, let's see. Let's see. He flies through the air. I'm sorry. This it's so tiny. I can't even see it. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. He flies through the air in a bodiless head, trailing gory entrails in his wake. Okay, it feeds on the he feeds by sucking. Yeah, we'll just yeah, he's got a long tongue that he sucks things through. So anyways, what's my question? Spiritual growth, yeah. Okay. So I don't know. Like this queen, the empress, you know, not judging by appearance. And we've hurt his feelings by fearing him and stuff. But I know, but maybe the spiritual growth is, you know, growth through loss. How can we value life more? How can we be more compassionate to others? Yeah, so that's the message I got. It's the weirdest image. There you go, the Mothman. We've hurt his feelings. All right, let's see what everybody else says or to say. Chat's jumped, so let me get back into I think Tom. Okay. Ace of Coins, not sure if I would say spiritual, but they are using it to manifest some coinage through tourism. For sure. For sure. Karen got the star reflecting upon the healing that we've achieved following the tower, connection to the divine to heal, guide, and lead in their lives. Hope. And then we got you froze. Let's see, Amanda with the Hierophant reversed. A break from societal norms and beliefs. Needs freedom to explore the spiritual growth outside of institutions. Amen to that. Let's see. And then Karen was saying how he got the tower, she got the star. So Empress experiencing pain before she gives life. Ooh, that went deep. Almost 3 hours. Hey, Ness. I know these Tarotnormals usually are around 2 hours, but somebody had 13 questions. Okay, yeah, the Aswang in the Philippines is famous cryptid there. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that cryptid.
I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah,
there is an area in Egypt called Aswan without the G as we spell it, but without the G. That's why.
Well, that's interesting. Here's interesting too, Karen. Pain is important. How we evade it, how we succumb to it, how we deal with it, how we transcend it. Audrey Lord. Oh, wow, love that. Beautiful. That would go really well with this Three of Swords idea here. Love that. Okay. We managed to get through. Well, we skipped one question, so 12 questions.
12 questions.
Yeah.
But it was a very interesting topic.
Yeah, I hope everybody. I think we all learned a little something new, even though I knew about him and some of the things about him, but I think going deeper and almost looking at this being as not just a scary cryptid. It's like I feel like he has feelings too. It's how I felt.
Of course.
So we can be empathetic to. I mean, I've just been fascinated with cryptids since. Well, when I lived in Florida and the whole Bigfoot phenomenon came out, and immediately drawn to, attracted to, I don't know, it was just fascinating. And now fast forward to today, where even they're saying Bigfoot could possibly himself be a interdimensional being. So that's something in the future I might want to explore as well, because I'm just the whole Bigfoot phenomenon. So, but I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us for
Yes, thank
about
you.
3 hours. Ramon, thank you for suggesting Mothman.
Yes, thank you everybody for sharing with us this fascinating topic.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to learn more, read the book, The Mothman Prophecies.
Yeah.
There is a movie, but the movie is very different. This goes deeper into all the paranormal phenomena that happen. And a companion to that one is this one, The Eighth Tower, also by John Keel.
I am very interested in that one. Do they have an audio book on that one?
Yeah, on both actually, on Audible. They're both on Audible too.
All right. So yeah. So like I said, next time. Well, there might be 2 next times. So the next scheduled one is the Stanley Hotel. And this is where Stephen King wrote his book, and then the movie came out, The Shining.
The Shining, rad.
So my son, one of my sons, the one who has autism, in the morning has that rad. Like, would you stop talking like that? I start calling him Danny Torrance. It's like, stop talking like that. It creeps me out. But so it's just something came on the feed through YouTube, and there's more to the Stanley Hotel. So there's actually some paranormal activity that sparked his imagination to write the book. There's actually that room. I don't know, was it 270? Or is that something else I just saw? But there's a particular room that a lot of interesting things happen there. And I'm just so all about the paranormal and hauntings and stuff like that, that I think that's something we need to do. And then we're going to have hopefully, Ramon, a part 2 of Ramon's house. Ramon and his hauntings sparked him interested in paranormal investigation. We had a go, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Yeah, go check it out. We had a wonderful time investigating his house and the little boy that was there and the mother.
Yeah.
And
we could do a part 2 because I've recently had a very powerful paranormal experience, which I made a video of. And it might be interesting exploring further in another show. Doing some readings on it to deep dive into it.
Would love to do that. And I recently had another. It was interesting. So I've just always been in loving the paranormal and live with them. And so my first on YouTube thing was on Lavender Moon's channel, and I got to talk about my experience in my house, and then we went on to it was like she was reading my mind. She had a secondary series with tarot, and I would do tarot spreads on there. And I did a tarot spread on how to connect with those who've passed. And she's like, well, why don't we do your house and connect with the little girl there? I'm like, oh, I've been wanting to do something like that. So that sparked my idea of Tarotnormal Investigation. This was awesome, and the cards speak, and fascinating fascinating things. So if you go into my channel, there is the library, Tarotnormal, and I have mysteries with Sun Psychic Jean, and she wanted to do Nefertiti, and that, if you haven't checked that one out, that was amazing, because I felt like I didn't even have to do a reading with my card pulls, just told all the stories in it. So if you're interested in Nefertiti, that would be under the probably the Sun Fae category in my library. But I can't wait to do the next one, and the next, and the next. So it's just
so many mysteries to uncover.
So many mysteries to uncover. So Ramon, thank you for again for bringing up Mothman. So especially to those who've never heard of him, and thank you, chat, for joining in. I think it went
everyone.
So well, and I think we all were in sync on something that's
really interesting.
Mystery.
I think it's the first time that I've seen the the chatters and us so much in sync with the cards and the messages.
Yeah,
it's fascinating.
It was fascinating. Took the words out of my mouth. So, all right, until the next. Oh, what do you have coming up? Actually, what do you have coming up?
What do I have coming up? I have a show called In Orbit With. Next week I'm gonna have Allie. That's on July 3rd. That same day, early in the day, I'm gonna be with Gerald Tarostach at one of his Shasual. I think it's pronounced Casual.
Deck Casual.
Yes. Yeah.
What deck are you doing? What deck?
What do you mean?
Do you have a deck in mind that you guys are doing?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
No, I'll just wait till the day and see how the energies are, and get that day.
There you go. Yeah. So awesome. So looking forward to the In Orbits.
I have a long list of people I want to have. You, Tom, Karen, everybody.
I think I'm on the 17th.
Yes.
And,
you're on the 17th.
Yeah.
What do you have coming up?
Tomorrow, 11:30 Eastern, I'm on with Sun Psychic Jean. And we're going to do dragon readings again. We get popular demand. We did a series on dragons a few months ago, and everybody's just more. They want more dragons. And then we're going to start a series on archangels and ascended masters. So learning about them and doing readings and stuff. So I don't know. I have a busy week that week that I'm on with you. I kind of like accidentally booked every day without thinking about it. Can you believe it's July already?
Yeah, I know.
Next Monday, I'm on with Heather and Nancy on the Divine Feminine.
Divine Feminine? Okay.
Yeah. And then, but
I can't wait for summer to be over. This is the time of the year that I despise the most.
And why?
Because of the heat.
The weather?
I can't stand the weather, yeah. I mean, I love that we have more sunlight, but I can't stand the heat. My favorite time of the year is fall, and followed by spring.
Yeah.
They're both there.
Yeah.
Winter is my favorite one. I like winter a lot. And then summer's my least favorite.
Right. Before I moved to the East Coast, obviously spring would be my first, but I moved to the East Coast and fall has become my favorite. Just that beautiful weather, first of all. After here, we've got the heat waves and humidity. It's awful. You can't breathe. So it brings that fresh breeze in. And then as I drive around with all the trees everywhere, I feel like with the leaves falling, it exposes hidden treasures that you don't see normally because of all the leaves. So it's like, I didn't know there was a pond there. And look at that beautiful, I love old architecture, like old barns and old
Mhm.
buildings, and so it just unveils. So
Mhm.
it's just
And it
magical.
adds too. And it
Yeah,
adds too. You know, the leaves are like add sort of like a, I don't know, that's something special to the scenery.
right, right.
Especially leaves on the ground with different
Yeah,
colors.
and I never knew that the red in a leaf could exist. I see pictures and you think they're enhanced, but they truly
Mhm.
are like ruby red leaves, and it's
Mhm.
just amazing. And then of course it's the prequel to Halloween, my
Yeah.
favorite year.
Yeah. I mean, also like in regular, like there's a basil that it's not red, but it's a very dark like burgundy color. I think it's Thai basil.
Oh, okay.
I love basil, but there is a
Yes.
red
Yeah.
basil.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have
Mhm.
to check that out. So all right, it is we've been on 3 hours, so I'm going to
Yeah, oh
bid
my God.
everybody a wonderful evening.
Thank you
All we
everybody
want to do
for
is have
staying here with us.
and
I
enjoy the rest
enjoyed chatting
of the
with all of
weekend.
you, and hopefully to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, we're going to send you off with just a little thank you video and just say
Blessings to all.
blessings, everybody. All right, good night, everyone.
Good night.